Hi everybody, this is the Football Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, and the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Football Hut. Yes, back to the Football Hut. We're back here. Hopefully figure out this stuff that's going on with the New York Giants. My gosh. What a terrible season. And hopefully they can get at least the number one pick out of this. But this has been escalating and getting worse, and it's really starting to fall on the owner, John Mara. Now, this is from gmenhq.com. Outraged Giants fans escalate war on John Mara as chaos reigns at MetLife. Ain't that the truth? And this was this afternoon. This article went out before the game. It's becoming a banner year in New York for all the wrong reasons. Well, maybe for the baseball teams. The baseball teams are doing okay. The football teams, New York Giants fans aren't letting up. For the second straight week, a plane flew over MetLife Stadium carrying a pointed message aimed squarely at team owner John Mara. This week's banner was even more direct. Mr. Mara, enough. We won't stop until you find everyone. He needs to get rid of everybody, to be honest with you. But it's been a brutal season for the Giants. Before the game, at 2-11 and now 2-12. They are staring down one of the worst years in franchise history, and fans have had enough. After years of mediocrity, back-to-back embarrassing seasons, and no signs of progress, the frustration has boiled over in a very public way. Flying banners over the stadium isn't a new tactic, but back-to-back weeks, it's a new level of commitment from a fan base that feels ignored. Last week, the message read, "Please fix this dumpster fire." Now they're calling for sweeping changes from the front office to the coaching staff. This type of public protest might seem over the top, but a fan base as loyal as the Giants is also a last resort. They've watched their team stumble through another wasted season, this time during the franchise 100th anniversary year, a milestone that's turned into a symbol of how far the Giants have fallen. Now the Mara family have owned the team for 100 years, and this is just a disaster. New York Giants fans demand accountability for owner John Mara. The Giants' struggles aren't new, but this season feels especially hopeless. Here's why fans are reaching their breaking point. Decade of decline. Since their 2012 Super Bowl win, the Giants have made the playoffs just twice. For a team with such a storied history, it's unacceptable. And from 86 to 2012, they won 4 Super Bowls and been to 5. And we've had great coaches here and, great players here. Leadership issues. GM Joe Shane and head coach Brian Daboll were supposed to be the solution, but 2024 has been a disaster under their watch. Daboll in particular seems to have lost the locker room. Low light at the end of the tunnel. It's not just the Giants that are bad, it's that there's no clear path forward. The team has major holes across the roster and no easy fixes in sight. It's a mess. Totally, completely a mess across the board. To make matters worse, the Giants are hosting the Ravens this week, a team that could be more of a polar opposite. Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender with the league's best offense, and they just completely destroyed that. We'll get into that. Led by MVP candidate Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, who looks as dominant as ever. Oh boy, it was about as bad of a situation as you could possibly get this week at MetLife Stadium. And here's what happened at the game today. Giants remain winless at home after being manhandled by the Ravens 35-14, giving them 3 points they didn't earn. My goodness. Well, I watched it, boy. It wasn't good. The New York Giants entered Sunday's contest versus the Baltimore Ravens at MetLife Stadium, a prohibitive underdog riding an 8-game losing streak with hopes of avoiding setting the franchise record for most home losses in a single season. They might go winless at home. The crowd was sparse, and many who did attend appeared to be Baltimore fans. The Giants came into the game with a long injury list that would grow longer as the day unfolded. Here's how it went. Keys of the game. The Ravens entered the game leading the NFL in offense with an average of 422 yards per game. In this one, they better than ever average, racking up 445 total yards of offense against the Giants' battered defense. Lamar Jackson was nearly perfect. He completed 21 of 25 passes for 290 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also rushed for 65 yards on 6 carries. Baltimore, despite committing 12 penalties for 112 yards and losing a fumble on their first possession, scored touchdowns on 5 straight drives beginning in the late first quarter and into the early fourth quarter. Couldn't stop them. You knew it was over when the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson connected with wide receiver Rashad Bateman for a 20-yard touchdown with 32 seconds remaining in the first half. The play gave Baltimore a 21-7 lead heading into the tunnel at halftime. The Giants had only scored over 21 points twice this season coming into this game, so it was essentially over at the half. The last 2 years, Giants offense has been a complete total mess. Players of the game. Well, it's funny you should mention there have been some players of the games here. Let me see. First up, wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Played through pain all day and left the game several times. He still managed to reel in 10 of 14 targets for 82 yards and a touchdown. Safety Dane Belton with the defense and tackles of 14 for a sack, pass defense, and a special teams tackle. Woo! Quarterback Tim Boyle played the second half after Tommy DeVito was ruled out for concussion at halftime. He immediately brought some semblance of order to the offense, getting rid of the ball in a timely manner and causing several defensive pass interference penalties with well-placed back shoulder throws. He threw the Giants' first passing touchdown since November 3rd. how the things we're looking for is just sort of grasping at straws at this point. Just grasping at straws, to be honest with you. Now, what's next? Well, it's funny you should mention that. Head coach Brian Daboll will hold a Zoom call with the team's beat writers on Monday afternoon before a few players are also made available. Big Blue will return to practice on Wednesday ahead of a Week 16 game against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday, December 22nd at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Giants, it's a disgrace. And what is up with Brian Daboll? Can somebody answer that to me? How does this guy, he looked like he was going to be a great coach here that first season, and it's completely, totally disintegrated to where he doesn't know what he's doing. The players don't respect him. What happened here? What really happened in this situation? This is about the coaching. That's the thing that's most distressful is what's happened with the coaching staff. And obviously, Joe Shane is a mess too. Obviously, when you see these problems that have been going on since 2012, it's not the coaching staff, the players are a symptom of a problem within the organization and within ownership. And the Tisch family and the Mara family better get themselves together finally and figure this out. We sort of had like a false start that first year with Daboll and Shane. It looked like they were going in the right direction. But it seemed like maybe they probably should not have signed Daniel Jones to that massive contract after that year where he played great. They made the postseason. That might have been the worst thing that could have happened to this team. But since they really didn't do much other than play lousy, I know they had a lousy schedule last year. It just didn't work out. And now it's even worse. But hopefully the Giants will keep lose the last games of the season. Last 3 games of the season, get the number 1 pick, and see what they can get in the draft. So, let me know what you think about this video. I am back, hopefully to figure out these videos on the Football Hut, and hopefully you like it, and I'll see you later.